All right, now we can back in.
Nag's guitars are fucking awesome.
Yeah, sorry, I got excited. I was
Yeah,
like,
let's do it. Let's keep it going.
No. So he, my guitar player and him just nerded out the music video shoot so much to where I'm like, guys, we got to fucking shoot something right now. Come on, get over here. So he's got this thing. I don't even know how scientifically they did it. So he was showing us like this. I mean, I can't imagine how amazing in the studio or on stage this could be such a great tool. But he's got something you can't even see. It's not like a big device or anything on the bridge, but it's something to where it locks, to where if you're rocking the hell out and you're bending stuff, it won't change the note. It's
Evertune.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I'm a little slow to this stuff, boys. But I tell you what, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, this is an amazing. Like, why isn't this used like all the time? Like, how would you ever go back to a different way?
Well, and you can change it so that you can bend and it'll still work, too.
Yeah,
right.
You can change that. Yes.
And you can change it like on the fly, I think.
Yes. It's a tuning system. For whatever reason, it doesn't detune. Like you can. It's not like a Floyd Rose. Everybody knows what a Floyd Rose
per string.
Everybody knows what a Floyd Rose is, and those are a nightmare to tune.
Mm-hmm.
Like the theory is once it's tuned, it's tuned. Incorrect.
Right.
If you think it is, you're incorrect.
Right.
For the most part, it is. It just like fine tuning has to be done. But if you want to do like a drop detuning or anything like that, you're done for.
Oh yeah.
You got to use an Allen key. You got to drop it, change it to Allen key.
That's right, the Allen key. I remember
it's
that.
So annoying. Yeah, it's so annoying. So Evertune is basically like the closest thing to that.
Right.
Unless you just have a.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I haven't made the plunge and put it on any of my guitars.
Well, it doesn't. It's not as popular, I guess, because you if you're putting it on an existing guitar, you have to like gut and route out your guitar. So you're improving the value unless it's like a classic guitar. Because if you have like a Les Paul or something like that, people just hate you for doing it. Because they're just like, how dare you? And it's like, it's a tool, man. It's a tool and it's mine. Leave it alone.
Les Pauls haven't been so great in the past like 10 years. So let's relax there.
I wasn't going to say it, but hey. And do you guys know that DHgate website?
No. I don't know that
Why does it sound familiar?
Dude, it's amazing. I mean, I know that this is morally wrong, but I'll be honest. I've always been poor. I've always been struggling.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, man, every time someone's put like a $3,000 to $7,000 guitar in my hand, I'm like, I don't know. I've played $700 guitars that are giving me the same thing.
I can't find a difference there. Yeah.
But we all, I mean, hey, let's be honest. We all love the aesthetic of the classics, you know.
Sure.
So it's like I'm a huge 335 guy. I mean, I'm like 6'2" and I'm 200 pounds, right? So it's like when I have a 335 on, it looks like a Les Paul.
Yeah.
On most humans, right? So that it just looks funny when I play a normal size guitar, like a Telecaster with a violin. It's terrifying. So for me, it's like I go on this DHgate website and they have, I mean, they're like really good. Like for about the $350 price range with free shipping, it is hard. I brought stuff to like even the Hollywood guitar centers and Sam Ash's, like where that's like the guys. Those guys work on everybody's stuff.
Right.
And I brought them the fake ones in and they're like, man, where'd you get this one? And I'm like, I got it off the Chinese website for $375.
Dude, that's awesome.
And they're amazing, and they hold up with the sturdiness of it, you know, and all that stuff, and they play great. And you're getting it, and they'll even have like the flame maple and all that stuff. Like I don't know how they do it at that price range. Like could be the under labor.
Yeah, I don't care about name brand.
It's little Asian hands.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
I've been looking at the slick guitars. I've been telling you, like the slick guitars, are ones that I kind of like. I like the aesthetic of them, and they seem pretty cool.
At Guitar Fetish,
guitarfetish.com. Like $300.
I actually, so I do a lot of builds. Actually, he's got one that's like open.
He's got. If you look behind our curtain, we have. It's just all guitars.
We're talking.
It's just all guitars.
Yeah, but yeah, guitarfetish.com, they have some really nice like parts and stuff like that, and I love just like Strats. Strats are like super easy to build, and you can customize them however you want and stuff like that. So I've got a baritone Strat that I'm customizing and just.
Dude, that's so cool. I was actually thinking about that. I don't know if I've ever really seen it. I know like Eastwood and a couple like those brands make it, but I always thought it'd be cool to have the widest body. Like I know like the Gretsch's have like the 17.5 width.
The
bigger body.
Big body.
But I don't want it thick. I want them thin, like a 335 with the block in the middle and all that.
Sure.
Jazz. but I was thinking like a baritone 335 would be really kind of cool.
Let me see. Actually, a buddy of mine just got a baritone. Let me just look for this real quick because it's pretty sweet.
I've seen them on like Jazzmaster bodies, and that gives you like a bigger body that's still kind of thin. I've seen that a bunch of times, but I haven't seen them on like a 335 body. And I agree, like those, that's just it's just badass. You know what I mean? Like,
really
it's just...
Are you guys a fan of the Rock and Roll Relics? You know that company?
Yes, I know that company. They're so expensive though, man. It's crazy.
Dude, so my guitar players are buddies with those guys because they all live in that area. And we've been pumping them in all of our music videos and stuff. But the one thing that they have that it's one of the, those things that come along in life where someone invents or comes out with something and you're like, how have we not done this before? Right?
Sure.
So they have their 335 body style guitars, and instead of F holes, they have those lightning bolts. Oh, dude, it looks so cool. It's like one of those things how come no one's ever done the lightning bolt F holes?
Right. Yeah.
It just rock and rolls it a little bit more.
Totally.
So you actually you brought up Eastwood.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine just picked up an Eastwood.
Oh, those ones, the side jacks?
Yeah. He just picked this one up. And he loves it.
Dude, those are so cool. I've seen those, man. I love that the sides are beveled too, like the edges. They cave up.
I like that too.
That's a cool because otherwise it's like you could easily have that body style, but it's just like that real generic-y, everything's just cut real sharp. That kind of gives it that extra little touch to it.
Yeah.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
What's up, guys? Are you a fan of Bacon Is My Podcast? And you're like, where can I find more stuff?
Well, we've got the site for you at baconismypodcast.com. That's where you can find literally everything. It's the portal to his stuff, my stuff, and our stuff, including Bacon's My Fashion.
You can find t-shirts, you can find hats, you can find all kinds of stuff to put on your body parts. You can also check out all of our awesome sponsors, get discounts. We always have the most recent and the best prices for you. And check it out also over at patreon.com/baconismypodcast.
Never changing.
Never changing. Find us at baconismypodcast.com. Thanks for checking it out, guys. And remember to ask yourselves,
what's your bacon?
World peace.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mel.
And together we host the podcast Spoil My Movie.
We were watching movies anyway.
And we were having in-depth conversations about those movies too.
So, we decided to share our thoughts with the world.
You can expect me to gripe about inaccurate details like supposedly cold weather, but you can't see anyone's breath.
And you can expect me to be totally adorable, but also psychologically deep.
And by the end of each episode, we'll provide our respective ratings,
using a rating scale custom tailored to the movie in question.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
We're everywhere. We're actually behind you right now.
But as we keep going, what I do want to let everybody know is welcome to Bacon Is My Podcast, where we are here with our buddy Gene.
We're already in.
Gene has
we're nerding out on
been on the show already.
Sorry.
Gene has been on the show already.
Never apologize.
And it's so funny because, so Gene was on the show with Letter Kills. And it was so funny because you brought up the fact that you were in Bullets and Octane. Now, going into the Letter Kills episode, he knew who Letter Kills was.
Yes.
I did not.
Yes.
But when you said you were in Bullets and Octane, I went, holy shit, you are? And because I knew Bullets and Octane, because I was a Family Values kid. So I would go to Family Values tours and all that stuff. And dude, I'm so excited to have you on here and talk again because you were a blast to talk to last time. And I'm really excited to finally, we're going to see IRL, as the kids would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking with us.
Well, again, for everybody that's listening that knows that of my discerning weird music tastes, I am officially a full-on Bullets and Octane fan. I've listened to as much as I haven't listened to everything yet because there's a lot.
There's a lot. They've been a band for a long time.
But I am a full on fan, and it's going to be part of my daily repertoire. My driving stuff, because I need to get places faster.
Like I said, I'm so surprised.
I came in and I was like, dude, I want to play guitar for a band like this. Like, this is the kind of band I want to play guitar for.
I'm so surprised.
Awesome.
I'm so surprised with your music taste that you didn't come across these.
I don't know how it slipped my my radar, but
yeah, dude, you're gonna love. I mean, I know I keep talking about it, and it's not because it's just the newest thing that is coming out. Because yes, we do have the new single "Vampires" that just came out. Excited about that, but the Steve Stevens, part of this next song coming out. Not only just that, but the song has all the stuff. It's got there's like weird musical breaks with just guitar stuff, and then
everything's got all the stuff. Like,
and then it's got like the big choruses, and then there's an a cappella weird vocal part at the end that you wouldn't see coming. So it's like, there's all we all get the cookie cutter, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus out, same old.
Right.
And there's something beautiful about that. We all have to get it done. It's part of the business. But to find ways, like even like Queens of the Stone Age is like really great at like keeping it interesting to where you want to hear it again, not because it's only good, but because you're like, I kind of got lost for a second in a beautiful way. Like I want to rehear that because they kind of took me off the path, but it was comfortably taken off the path and then right back on, just enough. I love that.
That's one of the cool things I appreciate about the band, honestly, is that listening through stuff, it's like if you only listen to one song, you can think like, oh, this is in this kind of genre, or this band kind of has elements of this genre. But the more you listen, the more you're like, okay, so there's like, I hear like elements of punk a la like Social D, but also a la like Rancid in there. And then I hear elements of like Billy Idol going on.
Right.
And then I hear elements of like Queens of the Stone Age and some of the music. And I hear so many things. I hear some metal in there. I hear some
goes to like a Avenged Sevenfold moments.
And it doesn't sound nothing sounds dated. Nothing sounds like there's elements of some of these older bands and there's elements of some of these newer bands, and nothing sound like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I can't throw this into a time period.
I'll tell you why. Because this dude is very in tune to pop.
Yes.
And he wants the hook.
There's just enough Cheap Trick in there for me to absolutely fall in love.
Yes,
that's one of my favorite bands of all time.
Right. But like catchy as fuck. That's what songs got to be catchy as fuck, and the hooks got to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this has been like the crux, like the blessing and the curse of my career personally, and as Bullets and Octane the band. It's always been really difficult for people in a business sense on that side of it to know exactly where to go with it. And I'll say this, like Spotify, two of like the more, I guess, streamed songs would be a song by Bullets and Octane called Pirates, and then there's a song called Ain't Your Savior. Now, if you put those kind of back to back, that could really confuse some people, and it's made my job a lot harder. And I'll tell you this too, it's like coming out in the beginning in America with like the first couple EPs, like one of the first EPs was produced by Gilby Clarke of Guns N' Roses, and that one is definitely not at all what it ended up turning out to be with like some of the metal Avenged Sevenfold-y stuff that kind of happened later on. Mm-hmm. And in America, people think of that as our first sound. Now then, when we broke out on RCA Records and we came out with In the Mouth of the Young, I was pissed off at the time, and I made a very heavy album,
Mm-hmm.
And then in the UK and Sweden and stuff, going over there, they think of Bullets as our first sound as being more of this like rah, metal-y stuff kind of. And so it really has made my life a little bit difficult to try to please everyone, which kind of does help the thing that you can't please anyone. Do what the fuck you want. Follow what I have to do. And people get a little bummed because as soon as I give you a taste of this, the next record comes out and I would either be coming out of rehab or some other stupid personal journey I've decided to do. And all of a sudden I make a record that's a little more like my melodies, and some of these songs will get very heavily in the harmonies, like a Huey Lewis and the News album. Mm-hmm. And then people are like, wait a minute, you just sound like the Bronx a second ago. What are you doing over here doing a Black Crow song, And I'm like, dude, honestly, it's like, I don't have fame. I've never really made money from it. So don't fucking pigeonhole me to shit, because I'm getting mad now, but don't, I'm I don't want to be held to that. I remember one of my friends was a guitar tech for Slayer, and I'd asked him, I'm like, hey man, do those guys ever do anything other than just metal all the time? Like at Soundcheck, do they ever do More Than a Feeling, or something funny like that, Sweet Home Alabama? And he'll be like, no, just metal. And I always thought of it, I might have said this to you before, I'm not sure, I talk a lot, but the paint palette thing with all the paints on it, if you're a painter, doing this and that, and metals are just red and yellow all day long. But you look down and you have all these beautiful turquoise and oranges and burnt reds and all this stuff. And so your whole life is very short. And if you're a musician who really, truly just loves all kinds of music, it's too short to not sit there and go, let's just throw a little teal in this today. Let's just see what this is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like get older stuck in this thing to where I look back and go, I wish I would have made a country album. I wish I would have made a pop album. Like what happens there? And I tell you, I'll keep talking, boys, I swear. But look at Jimmy Page or look at the Beatles, right? Like those bands and their creative stuff like came from, like I know Jimmy Page did a lot of commercial music and stuff like that. We're making soap commercials and all these different types of sounding songs. And then you go back with that knowledge and listen to some of the Led Zeppelin stuff and you hear all these different things that are going on. And it's like, it really was set up from his job prior. And you look at the Beatles were a cover band doing covers day and night. And all they did was play the best of the best songs from certain genres that were the top of their fucking heap of songs. And that's why they probably, this is just my bullshit theories, but that's why they were able to just come out with pound after pound amazing songs. Right. And I did the same thing. I worked for Think Music. I worked for Fundamental Music, doing sound-alike music bed pieces for film and TV for a long time. And I had to do stuff that they threw jobs at me left and right, stuff I really didn't want to do. Taylor Swift this or country that. And I was like, oh man. And then I'd go back years later to make a brand new Bullets and Octane album. And I would all of a sudden go, no shit. I totally just pulled from this or that. Or I'll be sitting there at the dentist's office getting my teeth drilled on or something, and I'll hear a Chicago or Peter Cetera something, dentist office elevator music stuff.
Sure.
And I'll be like, oh my God, I stole that for a Bullet song. You would never know, but it's like these things you would never think are related. I pull into this, and people might go, wow, this song sounds kind of fresh and original. It's like, I'm just not pulling from the same map as like I listen to Under Oath or I listen to this. Nothing wrong with that stuff, but I'm not pulling to write my style of metal or punk or whatever you call it isn't coming from anything to do with a Velvet Revolver or Guns N' Roses necessarily. Right. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
I think that
also the correct vernacular is yacht rock.
Yacht rock. I love it, dude.
I love yacht rock
all day.
I love yacht rock.
So my wife and I, we actually went to go see Story of the Year at Pier 17 in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And we were staying overnight. And the night before, no, two nights, I'm sorry. The night before, there was a yacht rock cover band playing.
Yep.
And they handed out captain's hats to everybody.
Oh, that's great.
And then it's like, that's brilliant.
That's great.
That is amazing and brilliant. Dude,
and give me some Hall & Oates, man. Give me some Hall & Oates.
Yeah. Dude, all day. You know what? I mean, did we talk about my correlation with Story of the Year at all?
I don't think so.
Well, I know that the Letter Kills guys said that they went out. They were like coming up around the same time as them. But I don't know about you.
Dude, we all grew up together in our same small little town of Overland, Missouri. And we all went to elementary school together, jumping on trampolines, going trick-or-treating together, like all the kid stuff, right? And I remember, like, I was terrible at school, boys. I graduated the 8th grade, and that was it. You know what I mean? And I remember Josh Wills, the drummer, he sat behind me in social studies of 8th grade, and it was kind of this thing of, like, it was unspoken because we're kids, but it was like, you help me get through 8th grade, and I'll teach you some drum stuff, was kind of the thing. So he'd help me out and things, and he would come over and we'd listen to Primus, My Name is Mud, and Jerry was a race car driver, and just sit in the basement and do these things. We'd go to Ryan's house, the main writer and stuff of Story of the Year, in his basement, his mom's basement. We didn't have much. I remember he bought a brown Ibanez guitar, was his first guitar, and the cymbals were on road cones, like with drumsticks duct taped to the road cones to hold the cymbals down. And we'd be down in his basement playing like Rage Against the, really terrible versions of dude.
Oh yeah.
You would just never think that like later on, all of a sudden everyone's chanting till the day I die in every city.
You want to know something wild? My son, he is 10 in January. I brought him to a Story of the Year show.
Yep.
And he's like, he's a concert head. He's a straight up concert head. And he's like, oh dude, He's like, Dad, that was awesome. Like, what? Can we go to another? Let's go to another one. Like, can we go on the floor? I want to go in the pit. I'm like, well, dude, like, you're not
get a little taller, a little thicker.
I loved, but you bring up Rage. I remember the first song that I was able to get through with the first band I was ever with, and it was a Rage song.
Nice,
dude. It's so cool.
What was like? Nah. What was like the first song you got through in like your first like garage basement band that you were like, yo, we got through this song. We need to show the world.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I will say, I know me, I just kind of rant on stuff, boys. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I will say
we're all for it.
I love it, man. That's the way it should be, right? But there is something to be said about like accessibility of music. Like when in the 90s, it was the blessing and the curse once again that there was bands and stuff that were commercially successful, like Nirvana and Green Days and stuff. Because I was just a drummer. I was a really good drummer as a kid, you know, for my age at that time. Not now, but like guitar, like all you had were these virtuosos of the 80s, and that would just turn me off. I'm like, why would I ever pick up that guitar? And then all of a sudden, those songs like When I Come Around from Green Day or Nirvana, anything from Nirvana, it was like I could possibly do that. I could maybe fumble through some 3-chord shit and get through it, and that keeps you hungry. It keeps you going because you figured out a Green Day song, and now you're like, okay, give me some more. I'm ready for some more stuff, and you know, you start building your vocabulary on that. So to answer your question, man, it would probably be something like that. I'm sure my generation was kind of like really into the Nirvana thing, so I bet it was like "Come As You Are" was a little open stringed, so that was a little too technical at first.
You had to detune for it too. So
yeah, but you had your like territorial pissings, and
right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
right.
You know what? I'm mistaken because it wasn't Rage, it was "Suck My Kiss."
Oh, totally, man.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It was "Suck My Kiss." That was my first like, and it was awesome because we were in my friend's garage and it was the summer and the door was open and everything. And then like 2 girls walked by and we were like, and they like started looking over the fence and we were like, hey, we're a band. We play a song.
Play a song.
Yeah. And they were like, I don't know what this is. This is a deep cut Red Hot Chili Pepper song. I don't know what this is.
What's so funny, because you just made me think, even jogging through this neighborhood, like I hear drummers, you know, in their garages, and I hear like the levels that they're at, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's funny to think of people playing "Suck My Kiss," and the part when it kicks right into that, drops into the chorus. Yeah, you got that scada-doo-ba-doo. That part always gets rushed when you're brand new. It's like God. But that little section just you kind of, it's janky, it's a little fumbly right there.
And that like just that last part of the chorus where you got to remember, is it 1 hit? Is it 2 hits?
Yeah.
Or is it 3 hits? And it's like, if you don't get that down, I'm gonna notice it. Nobody else will fucking notice it. I'm gonna notice it though.
Welcome to Sorta Kinda Funny. We're a comedy podcast.
Brother and sister duo.
Where we take your guys' embarrassing moments and stories and turn them into humor, because life's about laughing at yourself, and we are sure gonna laugh at ourselves. I am James. I am your main Mac Daddy host. And I'm also joined by a loser. Go ahead and introduce yourself, loser. Go ahead. Don't be shy.
This is Lauren.
Give it to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you say?
Also, we sing a lot, so if you haven't listened to this first episode, I'm sorry.
We have new episodes available every Thursday and would love nothing more than to hang out with you. Does that sound too desperate?
Yes.
Okay. Check us out wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll see you on Thursday. And as always,
text me if you want to hang out.
Bye.
Did you guys not get enough? I know, listen. I know this has been a great episode, right?
Give me some more.
But you've heard some commercials, right?
Give me some more.
Including this one.
Mm-hmm. Right? Give me some more.
But where can you find actual real episodes without commercials? Early and ad-free.
Patreon.com/bacon is my podcast.
He actually got it right.
Well, I just said it because I knew you weren't going to go with the joke. But if you're thinking, give me some mo, that's where you go. Patreon.com/bacon is my podcast. Sign up for one of the tiers, and you can get early, ad-free episodes, extra episodes, stuff with us cooking, stuff with us eating stuff that makes us make horrible faces. You know it. You love it. If you don't know it, you should know it, and you will love it, and you should go there, and you should never, ever, ever forget to ask yourself every single day.
Can I see Bacon's My Podcast live every Sunday?
Yes, you can. And the second question is...
Oh, what's your bacon?
What's your bacon? So Suck My Kiss is a funny one that you bring up just because I work at a school of rock. I teach vocals and guitar.
Nice.
And when we first opened, we had our first house band. And I was asked to run the first house band. I was never asked to run a house band after the first house band, probably because of some of the choices I made. And
you let children play "Suck My Kiss."
Well, the two songs I auditioned kids for the house band on, that then I added to the house band set. The first one was "Suck My Kiss," and that's how I auditioned bass players and drummers.
Okay.
And then I used "Whole Lotta Rosie" as my second audition song.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
Dude, I tell you what, I had the coolest house band of all time.
Right.
Because they went and played shows, and as soon as they started those songs, everybody in the audience were like, "What?"
Yeah, but I could see that how that might deter some parents, right?
It did. It deterred a few parents. You
remember that part in School of Rock where he goes, "Your kids have touched me, and
I've
sure
touched your kids."
Oh, it's like so great comedian stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was definitely the Jack Black of my school. I'd continue to be, probably.
Dude, speaking of, you guys know we got a new Spinal Tap coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
for real?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I know they, trailers and always continue on with like something that's so legendary and like cult classic. I know that most people are like, "Oh, don't do it," but I seen the trailer for it, and it's like they never missed a beat. If you didn't see that they were a little bit older, of course, like 30, 40 years later now.
Right.
But other than that, like their comedic timing and it's like they just jumped right back into that character without missing a step. It's
all
amazing.
of those guys are so amazing.
So this is a little later than Spinal Tap, but I would love for an Airheads too.
Dude, we talk about it all the time. Dude, my girl's a huge fan of that, and like I think that she looks it up sometimes to see if if there's still chats about it, and there has been flirts about it. There's been things about Brandon Fraser's back a little bit.
I recently, probably about a year ago, I got a Lone Ranger shirt.
Yeah, Lone Ranger shirt. Yeah,
and I wear the fuck out of it. There's a company I want to give a big shout out to Creeporama because I buy so many. I have a Crucial Taunt shirt.
Feel free to sponsor.
Right. But I've got a Crucial Taunt shirt that has the Shitty Beatles listed on the bill.
Yeah.
As well as the Lone Rangers. I just got a Wayne Stock shirt that has Pearl Jam and Aerosmith, and even though Steven Tyler's like semi-canceled or whatever, and and Crucial Taunt but yeah, it's basically like Appetite for Destruction. But like they like etch out things, and then they put all of like not farting on a snare drum, improvise, all sorts of stuff all over it, and Beavis and Butthead on the top making fun of them, and
dude, I love it. But I want all the classic stuff wrapped into one thing.
I made my wife watch it like maybe like 3 or 4 months ago because I was like, I didn't make you sit through that. I used to watch it every night. I didn't make you sit through that. Annie's still
never seen it.
Oh my god!
I gotta get her to see it. We have a list of movies that she's never seen. So she only saw Jaws and like Mean Girls growing up. That was it. So we've gone through a lot. We've had to get through a lot.
I also have to say this too. You mentioned earlier about all these different music videos, and you just made me think every time I keep mentioning my girl type of stuff. So, dude, you got to check it out. I'm gonna do a shameless plug here, but you got to check out her all-girl band. It's called Octane and the Reckless Hearts.
Hell yeah!
Check out this song called "Dead Weight" they got out there. She actually worked with Tim Armstrong from Rancid on that one, and dude, she's great. So she shot and directed and edited all those music videos that I've been putting out for like the last like year and a half, 2 years. There's like 1 million videos that came out that she's just sat there and edited away on. Super talented. Octane and the Reckless Hearts.
And, the Reckless Hearts. Definitely check it out.
All girl band, all these cool colors, and she's a mixed chick, right? So her dad's like from Jamaica and everything. He's the original bass player from like Soul Syndicate, Peter Tosh, all that. So he like pretty much invented that whole dub bass playing thing. So there's just like this whole really cool element. She's got this crazy hair, and it's pretty neat, man. And the girl music thing is coming out right now, like huge, you know.
I wonder if your girl knows my girl. Like my girl, her name's Annie DiBiase. She has a band called Jackknife Stiletto that's all girl punk band. And she also worked a little bit with Tim Armstrong. She works for the Blackhearts, actually.
The Blackhearts, yeah.
Yeah, she works for Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And so I wonder if they've ever like encountered each other.
What's their social? I want to put it up for people.
What's your social? The band one, Octane and the Reckless Hearts. Anything else to it? Official or anything? Octane and the Reckless Hearts.
Octane.
Yeah, it's spelled Xtine.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, because her name's Christine, so it's like a little play off that. Clever.
Super clever.
And the Reckless Hearts. Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's gnarly live, dude. It's kind of funny because we're both like really kind of soft-spoken and nice to people. Hey, I love your dog. But then you see her on stage and she's just as much as like a torturous animal that like I am, but it's rah for, you know. But it's kind of cool to be like, oh, off to work. Okay, have a good scream tonight, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Awesome. That's people like I'm for classically throughout my band career, even if I was with a 2-singer band, I'm the screamer. Like I just do and people have come to see me and they're like, that's so weird. It's so weird to see that.
It's like, dude, what's that like, by the way? I've always wanted to be, I've tried a couple times in my life to be in a band where I have the 2-singer element, right? Where like one guy maybe is more, either way, more of a rapper or more of like the singer has a different range than I do, a different timbre.
Well, you know what? It all really comes down to like being able to connect with the material. And so you either need to work really, really well with them and bear yourself like completely, or just dive into what they've written, or vice versa. My biggest, and you know, like I've done it already on the show, and I know you've always said like, don't tell people that, but our like for one of the bands that I was in, that particular band, our most listened to song was the most disjointed song ever because we wrote it separately. So it's literally about 2 different things.
Right.
And I regret it, and people find solace in it. They love it.
This is why I tell you not to do it.
Right.
I'm like, let people enjoy their shit.
Right. People love it. People love it. It's our most listened to song.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, man, you're singing about something completely different than I am. And it's weird. It's fucking weird, man.
That's an interesting concept, though, right? I mean, you know, I guess being you're a part of that element, so maybe it feels a disattachment to you, but maybe from the outside, being an outside, I'm just guessing here, but, you know, hearing that, you get to kind of get 2 different, you know, things coming at you. I don't know.
Yeah.
When people listen, they internalize and they make the song about whatever they feel like it's about anyway. So they're going to find those, like, it's like anything else. If you look for a connection, you're going to find it. You know
that's why like anything that you and I have written together, we've always done in a room.
Right.
Okay, get your voice notes up and we'll share it, or we'll.
Well, and that was a different like for me. I've always been like you. I'm always like the only singer in my band, and writing stuff with him was different because getting into that situation where it was like either I was writing a part of something that I was going to do, or I was like writing a part of something that I was like, oh, he's going to be able to scream or sing this in a way that I can't, so I can just let fly here with this thing. I didn't have to like I guess censor it to my abilities or lack of abilities, you know what I mean? So it does make a difference there when you're writing, which is pretty cool. We've only done a handful of songs together, but and I learned how to kind of like write for 2 singers from you for our couple things, but it was an interesting process. It was super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on. Sorry, boys, I'm just trying to charge this thing again. These phones don't hold charges like they used to.
They sure don't.
But like that whole thing, right? So like Dave Grohl's pretty vague in his lyric writing, and like it works, right? Like every song. That's why every song everyone says, "Oh, that's about Kurt," right?
Right.
Because it's like it never says
ambiguous.
Like, it's right.
because they want it to be.
But I guess if you're right, if you have that two writer writing different stuff, and it's like one guy's talking about the experience of buying a Buick, and the other one's talking about heartbreak, it might be a far stretch to like find the common thread there. But it still would be fun. I always thought it'd be cool to work with. Like I'm not the best vocalist. I'm a hell of an entertainer. I've always kind of said like I love the David Lee Roth approach to that's why I do it, right? But it would be really cool to work in a group like talk about guilty pleasures, like you listen to anything by Extreme, like More Than Words. Like, get out of here, man. Those harmonies and stuff coming in. I'm just like, dude, I would love to have that. We're going all the way back to like the Everly Brothers stuff and things like that, where you're pretty much both singing the whole time, but it's like beautiful choices of like the harmonies.
Figuring out.
Oh, dude, hit me up. I'm already a fan. Let's do it.
This guy.
Let's do it.
Yo, you want a harmony guy?
I'll do it with you.
You want a harmony guy? This is the guy. And you know what?
I love that.
If you ever,
I love that.
Really, really want to piss off an engineer with a guy that just knows how to keep going and going and going, it's this guy. Because he'll go. Oh, dude. No. I heard the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. Dude. Let's try the 8th. Let's try the 9th. Do you have a guitar? Give me a guitar. I feel a part. I feel a part coming along.
Dude, if we did something together, we'd piss off a lot of people then.
Dude, I love working with him because like I'm lucky. I'm fortunate enough to have built a studio in here and like be able to just kind of do whatever. And I know that he's definitely like felt that like, all right, guy, like we're done here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's like picked up a guitar and he's like, or even like parts. He's even gone like, hey, can we just take this whole part and just like remove it and put it somewhere else? And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it.
Right.
And I go and I'm mad at he's like, are you mad at me? Like, is this all right? Is it? And I'm like, dude, it costs us no money. Like, yeah, I'm cool with it.
There was an album. I don't know. I get mixed reviews. It's an album that we did at a really weird time, I guess, in the Bullets timeline, where everyone's kind of checked out and got their personal stuff going on. But it's an album called Bullets and Octane 15. That got me bloody face thing going on. But it's really I don't know. I was trying different stuff. So what I would like, you finish a song, and then I would go back and go, okay, take all the music out of the last chorus, and then I just rewrite all different progressions, but keep all the music with like all the vocals with all the harmonies there. Right. And find different progressions. So there's that similar thing, the thread, you're hearing the same hook, but now it's a little bit like kind of off. Maybe find a couple of those awkward notes to where, that's always fun to do. But yeah, I'm the same way, man. So it's like layer up all these different choices of harmonies and stuff, and then let me have my way, like, let me just do this. Come on, man. Just what's it going to hurt if I just do it one time? And if we don't like it, the argument.
Yeah, you can take stuff out, man. You can take it out.
So don't you feel better though? Like, so even if you put it all on there and you start, by the end of the day, you start stripping away some of the unnecessary, too far stuff. But at least I know in my head and my heart that we at least threw it all out there. We heard all the stuff, all the choices on there, and we decided on a realistic outcome, right?
So I always think like if I put everything on there, we're going to end up with something that we wouldn't have ended up with had I not put everything on there.
Absolutely. That's exactly it.
We can take 90% of it out. I don't care. Yeah. Everything on there is up for debate and up for, I know it's not going to be on there, but if we choose this offbeat harmony instead of the third or whatever was the typical one that went in, and we go, what if we just get rid of that and now it's just this? Then it was worth it.
It was worth the work. I completely agree, man. Even if it's like the smallest thing, like you said, like even that last word of the last chorus has that one note that hangs over, just that little thing. But it's like without it though, it's not as special. That little thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You put one little guitar thing on there that's like a 2-note thing that happens once. But if it's the candy that hits you in that part, then it was worth it. It was worth trying it all.
That's the one thing I've totally taken away from you in some of my stuff. Like even some of my demo stuff. Like I've been sending some of my demos to people, and they're like, "Oh, this is sounding like really big and really huge, and there's a lot of things going on here." And it's like, yeah, no, that's Jimmy. That's Jimmy's influence on me. Like,
I mean, dude. the brilliance of like stuff like the simplistic bands, like I feel like, at least for the people I've been around in the circles I've ran with, like a band like the Cars is extremely underrated in
Oh my
in a
God,
certain sense
yeah.
of like the little things. Like I was driving the other day and I heard that "Bye My Love," you know, that
Yes.
"Bye My Love," and at the end of the song it does the little fake one that then one more and it's like, it's kind of like, what you there, why would you do that? But it just gives you enough of a little bit of a trick you enough, pull you out of the basic pop song. They do a lot of that stuff, man. Just those
Yeah.
little extra time, like even the timing. Remember that intro with like the weird dan, ding, 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 ding,
Yes.
dan,
Yeah,
dan.
yeah.
And it's like, but then once you finally get into it, you feel like you've settled into a place of comfort because they kind of jiggled you up for a second.
Yeah.
You know, unexpected stuff was going on. That's the trick, maybe, man, is to like kind of,
Dude,
like
that's
the
Let's Go.
Toady.
That's one of my favorite road songs.
I
Dude,
enjoy it.
that Toady
I'm a
song, their
fan.
big hit is a 5/4 song, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's a tough nut to crack, by the way, to actually like make a good pop song that's 5/4 parts in it.
Oh, I've never done it. Yeah.
That's tough.
3/4 is hard enough.
I've done a few 3/4s, only released one.
Or maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Is it 3/4 or 5/4? I don't know. But
Either
something
way.
like
Oh, maybe.
3/4
You're
at
the
least
drummer here.
3/4 is
Come on,
at
guys.
least the yeah. 3/4 is at least the waltz. You know.
Yeah, we at least get that. But even like those Foo Fighters songs, man, you can kind of like really tear apart Foo Fighters songs and figure out their method of like, you got to have the Dave Grohl scream somewhere within it, even if it's
Right.
just in the bridge. He's got to go there. And then, you know, like times like these.
It's a brilliant song, man.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
They kind of throw that off. You guys still with me? Or is it my phone?
We lost you for a
We
sec.
lost you for a second.
You said
You started
We're
on
back.
times like these.
Yeah, but it has those weird, you know, like the bridge has
Yeah.
the 5/4 thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think every Soundgarden song is a 7/9.
Yeah, 7/9,
Something
7/8.
like
Yeah, something like that.
Let's not
Yeah.
even talk about Tool time signatures.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
even get into that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, no, I
I had to
think
teach one to a guitar player, and I was like, "You're better than me. You're
I
better
had-
than me, and you're 16."
dude, so
Yeah.
like my high school was like Tool was awesome. Tool was it.
Right.
And toward the end of my high school, like very, very end of my high school, that's when Lateralis came out.
Okay.
And so I needed to learn that shit.
Right.
Because if I didn't, I couldn't play in any band ever.
You can play all that stuff?
Guitar, yes.
All right. Nice.
I don't ask, not drums, not drums. And to be honest with you, the drummers that I played with, not them either.
Yeah.
It happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's a different thing, you know. And it's funny, man, like there's a lot of the people who like all the technical side of stuff usually end up hating that weird thing that came out and had huge success. And what was like that early-ish 2000s, like the garage rocky, the Strokes, the Vines,
Yeah,
the
the
Hives.
Vines,
the
Hives.
Hives.
I love them, man.
I
The Hives
love
and the
that
Vines, so cool.
Well, I like the Hives. The
So
Vines.
cool.
The
The Hives
Vines.
new stuff is awesome.
So the Vines, I saw them. It was on this initial tour that Audio Slave was going on
Okay.
because it was their initial tour,
Yeah.
and they started. It was like around Christmas time, so they played the local radio station's thing. But for some odd reason, they actually put Audio Slave on like pretty early, and they put the Vines on after them.
Wow.
Okay.
And the Vines,
All right. So that's a bad. Well, that's an unfortunate place to have to be.
besides the
It's a
Vines
challenge.
not being very good live that night. I don't know if it was an off night. I don't know what the situation was. But they blew the sound.
Oh, that's worse.
And people cheered
Oh, okay.
after they did that. And I was
Wow.
like,
That's unfortunate.
they didn't even I was like, dude, they didn't play the song that everybody knows them for. Like, at least give them that. At least give them that. But
Yeah, I could tell though, man. Like you're right, because good example of the exact same thing, and it's even putting myself down in Bullets and Octane down. is we played some festival in Sweden, and this was still when I was in my drugs and alcohol like phase. And when I say phase, I mean let's do all of them and all of them right now.
Right. Yeah.
And we were headlining the festival or something, I'm pretty sure. But right before us was, and you know, there's been elements of Bullets and Octane eras where it was just full blown early Guns N' Roses train wreck, like the old footage of GNR when you're like, wow, Slash is playing the intro a half step up and doesn't know it yet. I can't wait for when it comes in.
Right.
And he has, remember those videotapes?
Yeah,
so
bring a piano into this. Perfect.
And we would just run around on top of each other's shoulders and the crowd, you know, but it was fun and entertaining, whatever. And that was the same essentially as like you were talking about the Hives. I mean, the Vines, you could tell by listening to their songs that most likely live, that's going to be a train wrecky by design of his voice and stuff, at least my opinion. But we were playing, I think, right after fucking Dragon Force, right?
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, you see where this is. And we were all buddies and stuff. We were staying at the same hotel and having a laugh about it. Yeah. But the crowd was just like, you know, you had the people who are just waiting for intricate
precision.
You know,
yeah, they're looking for precision guitar playing.
And I'm up there going, who wants to take your pants off? It's fucking, you know, and running around puking on stuff. And that's not the same crowd. I mean, they're both very entertaining, and there's a certain, you know, fan base.
There's a crossover at some point, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dawn Brody, a comedian with a history degree and the host of the podcast HILF, History I'd Like to Fuck. Each episode, I am joined by a new guest who has brought me a subject from history that they want to know more about. Then I hit the books, I dig deep in the annals, and stimulate. We've covered Frankenstein, Houdini, Joan of Arc, Pompeii, the Salem witch trials, right? Join us and find out for yourself that history is a party and everybody's coming.
Yeah.
So Gene, real quick,
who doesn't want to take their pants off?
What bands were on the year that you were on Family Values? Because I want to think about if I went to that or not.
Yeah, that was I'm gonna answer your question with something funny. Is I don't know much about metal, right? I just don't.
Right.
And I got on that tour, and I was very young and naive, and I remember going up to road crew people and going, "Hey guys, what's going on? You know, being on the road, it's like, you know, weird." And I don't realize who I'm talking to. So 2 people in one day. The main one that's probably most important was I'm telling this road crew guy about what it's like to be in a band and all this stuff. And we laugh about it later, and I'm on stage, and later on stage on the wings, the bass player of Deftones comes up to me, Chi, rest in peace, comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, what were you saying, man, about," you know, he's holding his bass in the middle of a song, came up to me and go, what were you saying about being in a band? And I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Because, you know, a lot of metal guys wear cargo shorts and the passes are all hanging down.
Right,
and the hair.
right.
They all look like dudes who are
They look
racing
like crew guys,
and stuff, you know? So I'm picturing rock stars as in rock stars, you know?
Right.
Bell bottoms and stuff, glittery shit everywhere. And, you know, so we had a laugh about it later on. But yeah, so it was, to answer your question, it was the Korn, obviously.
Tones.
Deftones.
Was it
Stone
10
Sour.
years?
10 years, yes. 10 years was on it.
Bury Your Dead.
Bury Your Dead. Dude, I can't believe you're remembering this shit.
Dead Z.
Dead Z, yes.
Flyleaf.
Flyleaf, yeah.
Yeah, so that year I went.
Dude, I was there, babe.
I would hope so. I would hope so because you got all those.
but here's the big but. It was at Jones Beach Theater. There was a crazy hailstorm.
I can't believe it.
Only Dead Z and Bury Your Dead played. And Bury Your Dead didn't think they were playing, but they came out of their tour van in underwear and everything, and it was hailing like a motherfucker. And they were sliding back and forth on the stage, playing these songs. And we like the whole time, like, so my sister was in a wheelchair at the time. She had knee surgery.
Right.
So I was wheeling her around Jones Beach Theater in a fucking wheelchair.
Dude.
And I did not get to see, I was like, I know I was supposed to see them and I should have seen them.
Right.
And that was the year.
So that was, I think we got to play that show, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one where the water came all the way up to the front of the stage, correct? Or am I thinking of a different show? Because there was another one on that tour where it got rained out and like basically the back half of everyone that was supposed to be playing that evening wasn't able to. And they let that sucker go pretty like dangerously far.
right.
Literally, like the whole standing room and right in front of the stage was underwater. Water had come up to stage level.
Wow.
And like the winds were blowing. I remember it was a wooden stage because I was doing barefoot stuff at that time. My boots fell apart on the tour.
Did you play first?
No, we weren't first. But we were early. We were definitely
because the way the lineup was Deadsy, Bury Your Dead, and then was somebody else, and they were waiting for that somebody else, and they started loading up all the stuff, putting everybody's gear in fucking giant clear bags, and just waiting it out.
Dude, I can't remember where we were. I mean, we were close to like the Bury Your Dead and Dead Sea. I remember, it's like a long tour, right? So you just kind of
I'm sure
into like this thing where you're all working. The excitement's worn off. And I remember seeing the Dead Sea guys covered in sweat, like, hey, what's up? Good, have a good show. Yeah, you too. We're just like passing ships, doing our job, basically. But I remember, because we're talking like that's over 20 years ago now, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So I remember the Bury Your Dead and the Dead Sea thing was somewhere within the swap. Because I remember later on it was Deer and Gray. Remember that? Deer and Gray.
I remember Deer and Gray.
I don't remember them.
They were the Japanese band. Totally.
Like, yes, I do.
Yeah, we taught him terrible English. I remember that. I remember. I feel bad. I remember his name, but we basically would just sit around, and I got everyone to just do beer bongs. Like I remember the 10 years guys. We just sit around, do beer bongs in the trailer and weird stuff. And we would get into. I remember getting kicked really hard by one of the dudes in Bury Your Dead or whatever they're called, because I had a loud mouth and I was drinking a lot. But I remember we taught those Deer and Gray guys to walk around. He kept going. He'd go up to someone and go, I am a rock star, bitch. And that was his English. I'm a rock star, bitch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, at Capulet Fest, we're gonna 10 years is there.
Dude, no way. I haven't talked to those guys in a while. And to really quickly tell you this, when we were doing our RCA recording, we were all staying at the place everyone stays at in Los Angeles, the Oakwoods. They call them the Cokewoods, right? Mm-hmm. And we were staying right across the pool, if I'm not mistaken, from 10 years. And we met in passing at the pool. Like, good to meet you. We're doing our album too. We're all, both bands are pretty like green and excited about our opportunities in life. And then fast forward like, a year-ish later, and we're on the Family Values tour together. So this is going to be kind of a cool full circle to work with those guys and hang out.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome that here we are, 2024, Bullets and Octane in 10 years is still doing their thing.
Hell yeah.
And like, and honestly, like, I know you guys have gone through a lot of changes like throughout the years and genre wise, and 10 years is still doing their thing too. But like, I love the fact that you guys are, and I'm assuming that you are like one of the main songwriters, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like, I love the fact that you continue to kind of evolve and change and kind of, we talked about it early, but like keep your ear on the pulse of what's going on and take experiences and I was working with commercials and this and that, and like kind of taking all that in and adding that to your own repertoire. And I think that's really, really, really fucking cool.
Well, thanks, man. I totally get that. There's I get a lot of flack for doing that. Of it might seem like I don't know who I am or what I'm doing, or a chameleon of this and that. There could be like a negative side to that. But in the long game, I'm hoping, because I'm never going to stop, even if there's no fame or money to it. I just have to write, and I have to do this, and it's my baby. I don't have real kids, and my songs are my kids, basically, and my albums are my kids, however you want to look at it. But I will say that I'm hoping,
I get it.
God willing, when I'm like 60 years old and there's a bajillion Bullets or whatever Octane albums out, and somehow it will just make sense that maybe we weren't looking at it as album per album by a band that should be stuck in a certain type of genre based off this or that. It'll be more of like an experience of somebody's life experience of these different emotional things, because I'm not 24 anymore. I'm not as pissed off when I was a kid. I'm getting older. I'm going through different things that we all go through, and they're harsh things. And for someone to think that those things in my personal life or anyone's personal life aren't going to leak through and be expressed in the thing they do. And I will say on the other side of that, I might have mentioned it before, but it's like someone like Rob Zombie, who, yes, he does yoga and eats tofu and stuff. He also knows his place, where he might be sitting on the back patio on an early morning having some tea, and he's writing I'm a super beast. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's not really expressing his things, but he knows that that's the hat he puts on when he's being that guy, you know?
Right.
So if you have a product that is tried and true in one direction, you do know to feed them what they need for that. But Bullets and Octane was never been a band that's been a commercial success. It's not a household name whatsoever. So in a weird way, I do have a luxury of being able to kind of play around with different areas, because if one of them lands, then let's just keep going down that path. But until then, I'm probably going to flirt around and make a Fiona Apple cover album next or something, you know? Who knows?
I'll help you. I'll help
Please.
you.
That'd be fun with a lot of harmonies.
I'll harmonize with you on it.
Yes.
He'll help you. Like he can tell me what to sing, and I'll be able to do
I'll criminal it up with you.
He'll be able to tell you what to sing and then do it. So
I've been a bad girl. I've been a bad girl.
I love that song, dude. I've always wanted to cover that song, but figure out how to do it well. Other than the straight up regular way.
Let's do it,
dude. I was just on when I was out with Letter Kills a couple weeks ago. We were all driving and listening to it, and we were thinking, it's like, man, there's songs like this that everybody wants to do, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like it's so easy to just just really do a terrible.
Just ruin it.
Yeah, ruin it.
Yeah. It's almost like you got to avoid overdoing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing, is you got to like.
There's two songs, like and like throughout my years in bands, like you figure it out, right? So there's either you can do things badly, right? Or
which we've all done.
Right.
We've all done things badly.
Or you can pick a song and go, people are going to love this. And they love it up to the first chorus. And then after, it's like, this song had a second verse.
The Outfield.
Yeah. The Outfield.
Yeah.
Safety Dance.
Yeah.
I actually covered Safety Dance. I learned the second verse. You know what? Nobody cared.
Right. Didn't need to happen. That's where you go into the Outfield, and then you just end it after their first verse and chorus, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys ever listen to, back in the day, They Might Be Giants?
Yes. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dude, Dr. Worm. I listen to some of those things sometimes, and I'm like, it's just so refreshing, you know, whenever you hear the same bands trying to achieve the same success through the same channels, and this guy's trying to be like Maynard, or this guy's trying to be like, Axl Rose, and I fall into those same, stereotypes as well.
Of course, sure.
And so when you hear these bands like They Might Be Giants and stuff, and they're just doing stuff. I don't know how to say it other than that. They're just in a room going, hey, I got this dumb idea, and it's like, cool, and they see it through, and that's why it works or something.
That's the best part about it, man. That's the hardest thing to communicate sometimes to like band members, but it's like the best part about it. It's just like, yo, let's just do it and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's got to be tough, right? Whenever we've been so crammed into this business. I mean, and I know, obviously talking to you guys, like we've all have pushed in different types of elements of the music business to just keep like finding a way. So you kind of get your brainwashed into this, for a bad example, but it kind of works across the board of like that. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. That kind of works in all aspects of the music business. So it is difficult to sit down with professional players and somehow get everyone to not get into this. Well, wait a minute, shouldn't we go to a chorus pretty quickly here? And instead of just letting some weird guy go, I got a trombone idea, and it's like, yeah, let's hear that out.
Let's figure it out. We can figure it out. Yeah. But then when you do, it's super rewarding, or it's not, or it's not. And you go like,
at least we tried it.
At least we tried it.
It's like that Spinal Tap thing. There's a fine line between being clever and stupid, isn't it?
Stupid, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Of course. Dude, we didn't use any of the notes.
We didn't even get back into the tattoo conversation where I wanted to ask him.
Oh, right. He was like,
Tyler talking about him having a dick on his neck. I wanted to talk about all these things. We'll have to do it later. We'll have
Anytime,
to do a
boys.
maybe.
Anytime
Maybe a Capulet, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
When he guest hosts.
Right. When you're showing him your roast beef curtains.
Right. When we're showing our interpretive dance of roast beef.
Yeah.
But Gene, thank you so much for joining us, man. So before we head out here, let everybody know where they can find everything Bullets and Octane.
Yeah, man.
Including new stuff.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This really is great, and let's do all the questions you want. I'll be on anytime you want to do it.
Awesome.
And yeah, Gene Lewis here, Bullets and Octane. Anything you want to find with Bullets and Octane, go to Instagram, Bullets and Octane Official. Go to the YouTube, Bullets and Octane Official. Hit me up on the Instagram if you like. DM me. That's where I do most of my back and forth with people. Bullets and Octane Instagram, Bullets and Octane YouTube, Bullets and Octane Official. That's right.
Do it. Do it. Gene is one of our favorite people.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In the world. We've been trying to set this up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After the Letter Kills one, I was like, Gene's got to come back on. And yeah.
For sure.
But yes, I'm so excited to meet him IRL. Everybody, remember to ask yourself one super important question. Jimmy,
what is it that makes your life better? What is it that adds a little joy to your day? What is it that makes everything you do a little bit more exciting?
Gene, you remember what that question was?
Me? This Gene?
Yeah. That's
no, there's nobody behind me.
You say what's your bacon?
I'm gonna go with what's your bacon?
Ah! Dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Gene, like I'm not gonna slap. I'm not gonna do that.
He's gotta get a gnome.
He's one of our dudes.
He's gotta get a gnome.
Guys,
I'm voting on it now.
All right. Well, we have some non-voting voter things.
Yeah.
So
I'm voting on. I'm voting on Gene.
I love talking to Gene. Gene is awesome. We didn't really get to talk about Bullets and Octane, but
in roundabout ways we did.
We did
roundabout ways.
But Space Lord Symphony is the new single.
Yes.
That came out in 2024.
Well, no, Vampire's out now.
Well, Vampires is out now, but the first of 2024
is
right. Go listen to Bullets and Octane. They have a gamut of a long gamut of really awesome material.
We didn't get to ask him about his near-death experience making a PB&J.
We can.
That's gotta happen.
I kind of feel like
check out the videos,
Gene. When are you getting in? When are you getting in?
Right.
And when are you leaving? Because then we can figure something out. But guys, go check out Bullets and Octane. Go check out our stuff. baconismypodcast.com.
Yep. It's all there.
We love you.
You can find it.
Enjoy everything. And always remember to ask yourself one super important question.
What's your bacon?
World peace, bitch.
Out.